In order to make a sale, you need two things. You don't need to learn Jedi mind tricks. You don't need a big old book of objection handling, and you don't need a 40-step sales funnel. You don't need to hire an ad agency. You don't need to dump hundreds of thousands of dollars into Facebook ads. What you really need, if you want to make sales and establish good relationships with your potential clients, is number one, desire, and number two, urgency. So desire, think of as this deep, powerful want. They really, really want the thing you're selling. If they don't want what you're selling, they're not gonna buy it. Urgency, number two here, is that they want it now. We need to get them to now, because if I want what you're selling, but I don't want it today, tomorrow, this year even, then I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna delay. I'm going to think about it. That's where we run into problems. And most salespeople struggle with making sales because they are lacking in the areas of uncovering desire and urgency. If we can improve our ability to ask the right questions to draw out the emotional power of desire, and we can improve our ability to get people thinking in terms of now versus later, sales becomes easy. And that is what I want for you. What's going on, you guys? I'm Jeff Burlingame, and on this channel, we make selling easy, because we don't bury it in all these theories and tips and secrets and Jedi mind tricks and all that. We just create a system that you can easily implement into your own business for repeatable results. And two of the most important components of that system I want to discuss in this video here today, and that is desire and urgency. How do we find them? How do we uncover them? How do we make our results repeatable? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Let's get into it. So number one, let's start out with desire. So desire, again, is something I want you guys thinking of as a deep, powerful want. Let's think of it this way. We could put desire on a scale. On the lower end of desire are things that we don't want, right? Things that we don't care about. On the other end of desire, we would move heaven and earth to acquire whatever that thing is. So our goal here is to get desire as high as humanly possible so that they want whatever it is that you're selling so bad that they would do anything to make the deal happen. Sounds a little crazy, right? It's not, as long as you know the right questions to ask. So within our sales system, we've created a simple two-step process. 2 questions that you can ask to easily uncover desire every single time. Those questions are, number one, how does it feel when? When I ask the question, how does it feel, I'm speaking in terms of the present. How does it feel right now when you're experiencing this pain, this challenge, this goal that you have not achieved? How does that feel? Okay. And then I ask the flip side of things, well, juxtaposition, if you will. How will it feel when? How will it feel when you achieve this goal, overcome this challenge, get away from this pain? So what we need to do in order to uncover desire consistently within any sales process is, number one, we first need to know what the heck they want. And we want to do that in the form of a SMART goal. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, actionable. There's a bunch of different ways that people put this out on the internet. Doesn't matter. Pick your A word, not that one. Realistic and timely. Okay, so if I have specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, then I have a clear goal. Here's the thing. Most people don't think of goals in terms of SMART. Most people have dumb goals. And by dumb goals, I mean that they are not specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely. For example, in the fitness industry, we will often hear, I want to lose weight. That's a dumb goal. There's no specific or measurable thing that we can take action on. It is not realistic because it's just a thing we throw out in the universe hoping that good things will happen to us. And of course they don't. And there's no timeline. If I don't set a deadline, I'm not likely to achieve whatever that goal is. So instead, what we'd want to find as a SMART goal would be, I want to lose 23 pounds, measurable. I want to lose that 23 pounds in the next 3 months. Possible, could be pushing it. Next 6 months, super realistic and attainable. Awesome. And we have a timeline. So I want to lose 23 pounds in the next 6 months. Now we can spice that up because we can ask follow-up questions. So what's driving us to lose this 23 pounds, for example? I want to lose this 23 pounds so that I can fit into my bridesmaid dress at my best friend's wedding. Boom. We have a very good SMART goal. And SMART goals, don't get me wrong, like they are on a scale as well from bad to good. So bad in terms of a SMART goal would be, I want to lose 20 pounds in 6 months. Meaning, yes, it's smart, but there's not a lot of like potential emotion there. That would be a goal that would be kind of tough to get motivated for because there's nothing really driving you. On the other end of that is what we just talked about. I want to lose 23 pounds in the next 6 months so that I can fit into a bridesmaid's dress and stand up at my best friend's wedding. That is a really good SMART goal. So we're aiming for really good SMART goals every single time. So now that I have a SMART goal, what I can now do is I can go into our desire questions. Remember, we got 2 questions that we have to ask. We ask about the present, which is pain. They wouldn't be talking to you if they were perfectly happy and content with how things stand right now. That's why they booked a call with you. That's why they showed up to the gym to do their intro session. It's because they're in pain. They want a change. Now, pain is on a scale as well. So it doesn't mean that they're necessarily gonna die if they don't lose 23 pounds. It just means that they're not happy. They're not perfectly content with where they're at. And that's okay. So now we can ask that question, and then we'll go to the future state, what I like to think of as the joy state, after they've achieved this weight loss goal of the 23 pounds, after they've stood up at that wedding. So question number 1, this is important. We have to be sensitive in this situation. I do not want to make up scenarios. I don't want to say, how's it feel right now when you go into your closet and your pants don't fit? If they never mention that their pants don't fit, I'm not going to make that up. That is me being a bully. So instead, I want to soften my tone. I want to relax my posture a little bit. I want to portray this feeling of being on their side with them and being sensitive. And of course, I'm genuinely feeling that as well. I don't know about you guys. I got in the business of people and I care about people. That's what selling is. It's a people business. So I'm going to be sensitive here. And what I like to do is I like to make sure that I spend enough time when I'm asking those questions about SMART goals to uncover that pain a little bit. So as I'm going through and I'm finding out that they want to lose that 23 pounds to fit into a bridesmaid's dress, to stand up at their best friend's wedding, I'm sure as long as I keep asking questions, I will uncover a few pain points. Examples of pain points would be things like, we already purchased the dresses and mine didn't fit, and I need to drop a few dress sizes to be able to fit into it. More specifically, we would figure out the exact number of dress sizes we need to drop, etc. Another example would be, I go into the closet every morning, I pick out my clothes, and I keep having to grab my baggier clothes because they're comfortable, but I don't think they're the best looking things that I have in my closet. So that's another thing that we can bring up. And the way that this would work is then I just reframe that into this question. How does it feel when you and your friends go to try on the bridesmaids' dresses and yours doesn't fit? How does it feel when you go into your closet and you find that you have to keep grabbing those baggier clothes because they're the ones that fit best and are most comfortable, but you know they're not the best looking clothes that you have? So what are we doing? We're highlighting that pain, not to be a bully. This is important. The purpose of doing this is so that that pain is present. It's front of mind. As human beings, we are naturally all over the place, scatterbrained. We have so many things going on, and we're not always thinking of this until we walk into the closet and grab the baggier clothes. So if she's not currently picking out an outfit for the day and feeling the pain of having to grab the baggier clothes, then we need to bring that pain forward. I'm not trying to make Mrs. Jones suffer. I'm just making sure she remembers this pain that she feels often. Don't worry, we're gonna flip the script. So I've asked my pain question. How does it feel right now when you go to the dress store with your friends, try yours on, and it doesn't fit? It feels terrible. I hate it. It's embarrassing. Whatever words she says, I'm gonna make sure I write those down. Jot down those notes. They will come back later when we go to the close. So once I have that information, I go to the happy place, the joy state. So right now, Mrs. Jones, when you try those dresses on, they don't fit, you're frustrated, you're feeling embarrassed. Now, let me ask you this. How is it going to feel when you go to that dress store in the next couple of months, you're prepping for that wedding, you try on that dress and it fits perfectly? What is that going to feel like? So I'm framing it for the joy state. How will it feel when insert goal they want to accomplish? So how will it feel when that dress fits? So again, the easiest way to think about this, how does it feel when? Pain state. How will it feel when? Joy state. We have to take them from pain to joy because that helps them visualize. We visualize it. We see it. We can see ourselves achieving this goal. we can start to embody some of those emotions that we will be going through. We can escape the pain, get on out of here, and we can live in that joy state. What you are selling is not working out. What you are selling is not coaching even. What you are selling is joy. You're selling happiness. You're selling the emotions that they will feel when they put on that dress and it fits perfectly and they feel and look amazing. That's what you're selling. And if you don't remember that, selling's going to be really hard. So now what do? We have one of the two things required to make a sale. We have desire. Now we need urgency. So in order to acquire urgency, we first have to remember that urgency cannot be faked. What do I mean by faked? Typically, fake urgency is going to sound like this offer expires on Thursday. If you buy now, it's 10% off. This quote is only good for 24 hours. Things like that. You're making things up to create an environment of urgency around that person. The problem is that you are the one stating now. You are the one saying that you should buy this now. And that's why it doesn't work, because people naturally don't want to listen to you. So instead, we need this person to say now. We need our guest to be the one who says, I want this now. That is powerful. That is effective. The other way is not that effective. So instead of faking the urgency, we're going to find real urgency. Notice how I said find. We're not going to create it. We can't create urgency. Urgency is there or it isn't. Now, the good news is if we ask questions in the right way, if we ask the right questions, this person will find the urgency. It will be there, and it will be now. We just have to follow the system. So the system is this. It's just a 1 to 10 scale. We call it a temperature check. Is it warm or is it cold? 1 would be cold, 10 would be hot. That's what we want. So we need people to go this way towards 10. In order to get them to 10, we ask a very simple question. And we ask the same question every single time. And I have tried this question thousands of times in real sales appointments. And I've had clients I've worked with ask this question as well. It is effective. It will work. We don't write a full sales script. We do an outline because you should be dynamically asking the right questions throughout this process. That said, there are just a few scripted parts that we add because they are effective. Very simple scripted questions. And this is one of them. So the script for this is, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how important and urgent is it for you to X? X being achieve the goal that they want. So go back to our bridesmaid. Mrs. Jones, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how important and urgent is it for you to go back to that dress store, put on that dress, and have it fit perfectly? Mrs. Jones, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how important and urgent is it for you to be able to go into your closet every morning, ignore the baggy clothes, and put on the clothes that you actually want to wear? So notice that I'm framing it around the desire question. Because again, I want that to be front of mind. I want them to constantly be thinking about the goals they want to accomplish and how they're going to feel when they accomplish those goals. And when I ask that question, I'm going to get a number. Typically, you're going to hear this number. And I bet you guessed that already. This is the common answer. Because anything less than this puts them in a socially awkward position. Anything more than this feels like an overcommitment. And that's okay. That's why this is a system and this system works. So, what do we say when we get a number? There are 3 lines of questioning that you will go through. Number 1, if you get a low urgency response, anything less than a 7, so 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to ask the question of low priority. A 5. Mrs. Jones, I'm curious, what makes this such a low priority right now? That's it. And then they're going to tell you. And then guess what? That's an objection. Because here's the thing, you guys. We haven't talked about this yet on this channel, but this is the Objection Prevention System. It's ops. With this system, we can draw out objections before we even talk price. Because once price comes out, selling becomes an uphill battle. All they're thinking about is price. They're not thinking about the joy state. They're not thinking about the goals they'll accomplish. They're only thinking about the dollars in their pocket. Okay, so from low priority, we end up at a 7, an 8, or a 9. We call this mid-level urgency. At mid-level urgency, it's even easier. They say 8. Mrs. Jones, an 8, that's awesome. So I'm curious, what's holding this back from being a 10? And this is extremely important because now we enter a cycle of questions. You're an 8. What's holding this back from being a 10? Oh, I'm just not sure about my schedule. Schedule, okay. What time of day do you like to work out? In the morning. Awesome. So if we have morning classes, that's something that would work for you? Yes, great. We just solved the problem of 8. So you were an 8, Mrs. Jones. Let's go back to that scale 1 to 10. Where would you say you are now? I'm a 9. You're a 9. Awesome. So, Mrs. Jones, I'm still curious, what's holding you back from being a 10? Oh, well, it might just come down to budget. I just don't know if I can afford you guys. Afford us. Okay, so we're thinking budget. So, Ms. Jones, as long as we had multiple options for you to join, which are set up to effectively fit just about any price point, that's something that you feel potentially could be a good fit? Well, yeah, okay. If you have multiple options, maybe there's something that'll fit for me. Okay, cool. That's all we need to know right now. Awesome. So we've got multiple options. We'll find one that fits you. Great. So with that in mind, let's go back to the 1 to 10 scale. Where would we say we are now? Oh, I'm a 9.5. 9.5. Oh my gosh, we're making progress, but we're still not quite at a 10. So what, if anything else, is holding you back from being a 10? Well, at this point, I'd say nothing. Really, I just don't like to go all out, all in on anything. I don't go to a 10 on anything. Okay. So essentially what you're telling me, Mrs. Jones, is 9.5 is your 10. Yes. Okay, great. And I like to joke with them on that a little bit. So we end up at 9.5, but we got them to say that's their 10. Fantastic. So that's the process. And you would do the same from low priority. So if they came up with a 5 and you go, what makes this a low priority? Oh, I got this going on and that going on. What we'll do is we'll just stay broad and general with our responses and work our way up towards a 10. It is important to keep in mind that we don't want to get into the specifics here. Because, for example, if we got that budget question, well, I'm not sure if you guys will be on my budget. What's your budget? I don't know, $100 a month. Ooh, we don't have a $100 a month plan. Guess we're done here. You guys, budgets aren't real, okay? Stop letting budget get in the way of you making sales, of you gaining clients, of you helping others. Budgets are not real. And I can prove this by asking you a simple question. Has there ever been a time when you have wanted something really bad and it wasn't in your budget? I'm sure there's dozens of examples that you can think of right now off the top of your head. Now, of those dozens of examples, was there ever a time where you broke the budget to get the thing or to go on the trip? I guarantee you did. We all have. We have all done that. Case in point, have you ever got a loan? Yes, most of us have gotten a loan or put something on a credit card. That is money you don't have. That is budget you don't have. You broke it to get the thing, to go on the trip, to go to school, to buy the car, to buy the house. We've all done it. Why did we do it? Because we wanted it really bad and our urgency was high. That is why. That is why this system works. If you don't do these two things, if you don't get desire, if you don't get urgency, you're making selling hard for absolutely no reason. And you're making it tough on your clients too. You're making their decision harder. We're helping right now, okay? Forget the budget. Don't worry about it. So we can't get into the specifics here. We just say, as long as we have multiple options set at different price points, the chances are high that we'll find something that'll work for you. Is that fair enough? Yes. Great. Where are we at now? Okay. And then what happens, third option here, if they come up with a 10. Now, this is a cautionary tale. They might say they're a 10 out of 10. No objections. Nothing in the way. Scale 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. How important and urgent is it for you to achieve these goals? I'm a 10, an 11. I've heard really high. I've heard 1,000. I've heard all sorts of responses. The cautionary tale is this. I have had multiple sales that I can think of off the top of my head where I got to this question. They said 11 out of 10. And I said, that's amazing, awesome. And then I moved on. And guess what? They didn't buy. Why? Because I didn't spend this time. I didn't get to dig in and uncover hidden objections. I didn't use the objection prevention system properly because I didn't prevent squat. I just rolled on assuming the sale. And that was a costly mistake, both for me and for them. I don't know where they wound up. I don't know if they even joined a gym. I don't know if they even got any training. I don't know if they achieved their goals. And I never will because I'll never see that person again. So I will caution you this now. if you hear a 10, hold the applause, hold the cheering, hold the excitement. You're not done. Instead, we're gonna let them sell themselves. So I'm a 10 out of 10. Mrs. Jones, that's amazing. 10 out of 10. This is really important and urgent to you. That's fantastic. So let me ask you this. What makes this a 10 right now? What makes this an 11 out of 10 right now? What makes this 1,000 out of 10? What makes this such an important, urgent thing for you? You have to ask that question, and then they'll sell themselves. Now we can move on. And there we have it. The two things that you have to find in order to make a sale are desire and urgency. We talked about how to find them. We came up with questions that you can use right now. Add them to your process today, now. If you have a sales call in 5 minutes, try it. I challenge you to that. If you can uncover desire, you found the emotion in the sale, and you've created a magnetism for them. They want to achieve this goal. And they start to automatically associate achieving this goal with you because you're the one that brought this up. That's powerful. Then urgency. We overcome the challenge of now. We need to get them away from tomorrow, next week, next year, and towards right now. I want this today. I want this right now. And we do that by getting them to a 10 and melting any potential objections they have by using the Objection Prevention System. Deal with the hidden objections early before you talk price, because once price comes up, it becomes really difficult to overcome objections. All right, you guys, I hope that this was really helpful for you, and I encourage you to take action on this right now. Urgency, right now, okay? Put this into your system today and try it out. Couple simple questions that you can ask. In fact, we just gave you 3 scripted questions. 2 questions for desire, 1 question for urgency, and some follow-up questions that you'll ask thereafter. So start practicing those, role play it with your teams, and implement it into your sales process, and you will have amazing results. And when you do, come back to this video and drop me a comment and let me know how it went. And if any of this hit home, feel free to drop me a comment or ask me a question below. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Smash that like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and we'll see y'all on the next video. Bye.